before we get to overrated, I have to comment on this because it's kind of, we can't go a whole episode without mentioning this, but a surprise was the Tennessee fan reaction
yes,
to the Ole Miss game.
yes.
Look, I get it. There's a lot of animosity with the Lane Kiffin dynamic. And I also understand that questionable call at the very end on that fourth down
in 27
play, I knew they were going to like go crazy over that. I did not realize it was going to turn into a complete stoppage of play and a player safety issue.
Yeah.
Well, player safety and Lane Kiffin, I mean, they were gunning for him. And so if you didn't see it, I mean, they had to stop play for a solid, it felt like half an hour,
minutes,
man. Yeah.
I was covering the game, so it was 25.
Yeah. So I was just watching it like, geez, they're throwing bottles, throwing golf balls, throwing mustard bottles. I mean, all kinds of crazy stuff. And so I have two thoughts on it, and then that's it, because we need to get rolling so we can get to True Minute. But one, it may have already been announced, but if it hasn't, I hope that the SEC fines Tennessee a much more significant fine than just storming the field.
Yeah.
Right? Because storming the field is also a player coach safety issue, but the intent behind it is not to cause harm.
Anybody.
It's an excitement and celebration. Last night, they were trying to hurt somebody.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
sure.
they were so angry. And I get it, man. Like, I get just as angry as the rest of them when it comes to supporting my team. But, like, you also got to be able to go, all right, man, like this is also real life here, man. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference between real life and, like, my favorite team.
Right, exactly.
But let me balance that thought with this one. I better not see any SEC, particularly, fan base trying to act like what the Tennessee fan base did is just so despicable and so because here's what I will say, even as an Arkansas fan, every single fan base in the SEC has the potential, with the exception of maybe Vanderbilt.
Right, I was going to say Vanderbilt.
Maybe Florida. I don't know that I see Florida. To me, I just feel like they got a totally different vibe out there.
Yeah, they're just.
I mean, they're on the beach, they're on the coast, But any other fan base, I wouldn't put it past them doing the same exact thing. And I'm not saying they would, but and before you start saying, "Well, not my fan base," you better go check your own skeletons, because I saw a few SEC people on Twitter from some other SEC East and SEC West schools that I thought, I bet if I just did a little simple Google search, I could go find some stuff about your fan base that you wouldn't be so proud of either. So I think that it's ridiculous that happened. I think Tennessee deserves a harsh fine. I mean, at the end of the day, like, it's a game. Like, you want 22-year-olds. That's exactly right. Like, you want coaches and players to be safe. Be mad, let it out, scream, yell, cheer, whatever you need to do, but, like, don't cross the line where you start to put someone else in harm. And then all you other fan bases, Kentucky's, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, even my own Arkansas, like, get off your high horse as well, because you know just as well as I do that your fan base, if they wouldn't do that, probably has something in their history that they're not so proud of. So let's not judge the Tennessee fan base by their worst moment, which I believe last night was a display of that. But that's we had to bring it up. It was a pretty big headline, along with the rest of the craziness from yesterday. But if you got any quick comments on that before we get to overrated, go ahead.
I mean, it was just, I just think, we all get passionate. Like I just said, when I briefly said, it's like, we have to remember, at the end of the day, it's not real life, man. It's a game with a bunch of, this is where I've reframed it back to me. When the game's over, my emotions are done with it, because I can't allow some 18 to 22-year-old kids to affect my mood that bad, who at the end of the day, like, let me tell you something my dad taught me, and then I'm done. Like, this is 2005. The Pistons just lost to the Spurs in the NBA Finals, right? I'm pissed. angry, man. My dad, and you know my dad. So
Oh,
my
yeah.
dad looks at me. He goes, "Are you really mad?" I'm like, "I can't believe it. They cheated us." He goes, "Brandon, Chauncey Billups is going to go to Disney World tomorrow, and he's not in his home saying, 'Oh man, I let Brandon Holmes down. How dare I? I can't believe it. Brandon's so upset.'" And ever since my dad has said that to me, like after the game, I'm done. I'm like, "You're right." Like, no player in Tennessee is not, Joe Milton is not in his dorm room like, "Man, I really let down Ben from Knoxville yesterday. How
Yeah.
dare I?" Like, Joe was probably texting the girl or playing Madden. Who they don't
Like,
care.
yeah, he ain't over there going, "Oh man, we didn't get revenge against
Right.
Lane Kiffin." Were these
They
guys even
don't-
born when that happened? I
Yeah,
mean, come on.
They don't care. So, guys, like, I get it. Be passionate. But always remember, at the end of the game, that person is not personally thinking about you if they've lost. Like, I really let Brandon down. Like, the Michigan quarterback is not thinking about Brandon Holmes when he loses. He's
That's
like,
right.
I could care less. So, that's all I have to say about it, to bring a little humor to a crazy situation.